Cabela's Spring Thunder is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. The National Wild Turkey Federation. Conserve, hunt, share. ScoutlookWeather.com. Never trust a weatherman who doesn't hunt. And Cabela's, it's in your nature.
Well, thanks for joining us this week for Cabela's Spring Thunder. I had the privilege the last few days to get down to the low country of South Carolina and film Tom Stuckey of the NWTF and his son Jason. And it was a really awesome hunt. We had some cool encounters with some birds and we were able to kill a couple, but they're very henned up, and it's definitely one of the toughest places in the country to hunt easterns. So we're going to bring you some of that action. We're also going to address one of the most frequently asked questions that we get on the Spring Thunder website, and that is how to get more turkeys on your property. So we hope you enjoy this week's episode. Let's get right to the action.
Second day of the season here in Low Country, South Carolina. Man, we struck out bad yesterday. Birds didn't gobble, only been on the roost, and that was it. And they're still ganged up real heavy. March 16th, and it's real early. We know where some birds are roosting. We're going to try to get real tight to them. We talked to some of our friends yesterday that got a couple birds, and the way they got them was they were fortunate enough to get real close to the roost when they come off, and they got them before they got out and got off with the hens. So we're going to try that same strategy today. Use some of the Avian X decoys and set them up, and hang with us. This is going to be quick and fast action this morning. The setup was good, but we got with the hens and the gobblers were over here. Now we're going to try to get between the hens and the gobblers. If we do that without spooking anything, we might have a chance. Close, but no cigar. Let's go get them. They're closer. Yeah. That's him again. Yeah, they're going to come. Oh, way to go, buddy! Well, this morning, after a long sleepless night last night, because we really struck out bad yesterday, thought about how to get these birds. Our plan was pretty good. We got in tight to a roost where I thought the birds were roosting, and they were there too. Only trouble it was just hens and jakes. The longbeards had roosted off away from the major group of birds. We got between the gobblers and the hens and started to do some calling, some aggressive calling, and immediately they started gobbling back. And when they seen that Avian X gobbler decoy, it was all over right then. Hunting here in the low country, South Carolina can really be tough. There's a lot of water, it's pretty thick, But if you just stay after it and think about what's going on with the turkeys in their lifetime, what's going on right now in the stage of spring that they're in. After we struck out yesterday, we had a home run today, and it was only because, you know, you thought it out. And the strategy worked almost to perfection. Right now, what I'm finding here is the birds are pretty well grouped up yet. They haven't broke up a lot. They're in very large bunches. The adult gobblers have got with the flocks and run off subdominant birds. When you have a lot of birds, if you can catch them before they all get organized in the morning and get off on their merry way, that increases your odds. Try to get in tight. Usually something that makes a hunt special, in my opinion, is the lodging. And we stay in a little old shack that's been renovated from year to year. Mr. Richard Carter calls it the coon den. And the old coon den was his raccoon hunting shed. He loves to run dogs at night, and we called it the coon den, and we just love it. It's got a lot of character, real comfortable. You don't have to worry about maybe having a little mud on your feet once in a while. When you've hunted at the coon's den, then you can say you've been there and done that. You've achieved the upper level of turkey hunting.
Obviously, we're hunting in the deep south this week, and as you can see, I've got a couple of snake boots with me. This is the Cabela's Boa Snake. I've been wearing it for the last couple of years. It's an awesome snake boot, very lightweight, great for any situation when it comes to turkey hunting. They're also on sale right now at Cabela's, so click on the link in the corner of your screen and go over and check those out. But I've also been field testing the Cabela's pull-on snake boot, and it is equally as durable as the Boa snake boot. They're very comfortable. They slide on and off easily, lightweight, great for turkey hunting. If you're needing some new footwear this spring, check out the Boas and the Cabela's pull-on snake boots.
A frequently asked question is, how do I get turkeys on my property? First thing you need to look at is do a needs assessment of your property. We're here on the Big Escambia property in southern Alabama, and one of the things that we've had to come down and do this past week is to look at what are the needs assessment here to diversify the property for wild turkeys and wildlife. If you look at wild turkeys, the more diverse the habitat is, the more turkeys you're going to have there. This area right here is a pine stand, as you can see, that's been thinned. But evidently, over time, this pine stem wasn't maintained through fire or herbicide work. And a lot of folks, I think, run into the same situation. They have this same type of habitat and just do not know what to do with it. So what'll happen here is we'll either come in and mulch this area, then treat it with herbicide, and then maintain this pine stand by controlled burning. And controlled burning is probably one of the most cost-effective ways to manage habitat for wild turkey, deer, quail. Great stuff there with fire. Also here we have a food plot, and this is showing a little bit of diversity here. We've created food, and through our other habitat restoration work here, we will establish some cover, some nesting cover, and we've diversified that. And that's a problem that people probably don't understand. And you'll ask yourself, well, where can I get help? Contact the NWTF. We have biologists there, wildlife managers there that can assist you, but I think it's most important that you contact a professional, let them come out, give you some advice, and then you'll be on your way to having better habitat.
We dealt with henned-up gobblers for the entire trip to South Carolina, and on the morning of the 17th, Tom and I had moved into a swamp to try to get on some birds that had a pile of hens. This hunt is a classic early season example of how you can still call in birds without hearing a single gobble.
We're deep in the swamp here right now. I found a nice high spot in the swamp. Those birds we were on this morning headed deep into the swamp, and I think this is going to be a good setup here right now. We're going to do some soft calling and see what happens. We're deep in a swamp here right now, and what you just got to see was 2 longbeards and a group of hens that we got on early this morning that got away from us. Work in close to some soft calling that I did, and I just used the wrong pin on my crossbow. It wasn't the crossbow's fault, it was my fault. Shot right over top of him. We're deep in a swamp here right now. Found a little high spot in the swamp, and I set the Avian X decoys up, and they worked. They held his attention, although he did not respond really well as far as strutting to him or attacking the Jake decoy, but he was curious about it, and that allowed me to get a good shot. I should have hit it. Nobody to blame but me. That's why they call it hunting and not shooting. Thank God for that, because my shooting today wasn't very good.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Right now, Scott Vance and myself are headed down to Florida to chase some Osceolas this weekend. So be sure to tune in to next week's show. We're going to have even more turkey hunting action right here from the southeast part of the country. But thanks once again. And remember, if you're not already a member or you need to renew your membership with the NWTF, please click on the link in the corner of our screen, go over to their page and become one. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Monday right back here for another episode of Cabela's Spring Thunder.